you said earlier, do what you want to do. Because the thing is, people are always going to think from their view looking in at you that they know what's best for you. Oh, you need to go get a job at this company. They're going to take care of you and give you health benefits and all this stuff. And,
Yes.
okay, that's great for you. It works for you. And if you like that routine and the rat race, sure, go ahead. But I prefer going out and earning my own. So I don't take well to having a boss, things like that. So if starting a business is something you're thinking about doing, just do it. And it's going to be hard. It's going to suck. At least twice a week, you're going to think you're a failure.
Welcome to Clicks and Bricks Podcast. We talk about the entrepreneur mindset.
If you get one shot at this, what kind of shot are you going to take?
If we forget who we are, they're going to forget who you are.
You've got an adversity story that's out of this world.
Everything from that Main Street brick and mortar to that billion-dollar manufacturer.
So today we got Mike Stiegel. Mike, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Mike Stiegel. I'm born and raised in Jefferson County, High Ridge, Missouri. I just opened up a boxing gym called the Main Event Boxing and Fitness. I was a local amateur boxer out of St. Louis. Had over 100 amateur fights. And I currently box professionally. I have 9 professional bouts. My record's 6-0. I got 3 draws on my record. Hoping to have my 10th fight sometime this year.
Hopefully. But you have a little injury, right?
Yeah, coming back from an injury.
Yeah, you had a match coming up, I think in March, that got rescheduled and you got hurt, which is great. Give you a little time.
Yeah, tore my MCL. Well, it's not torn,
right,
but damaged my knee during sparring, and that kind of put things on hold. But it's all right because now I'm able to keep focus on my business. The fight kind of drew my attention away from it for a second.
Did it?
But it did.
It's challenging,
Very
right?
hard, yeah.
I mean, I'm an amateur boxer, and I run a couple different businesses, and it's always a challenge. Now, I'm going to always say amateur probably.
Yeah.
Because for that reason, right? I don't have the time to dedicate
it's very
to
hard.
go pro, and I don't want to disrespect the sport by going pro and showing up for a match that I'm not ready for.
Oh, well.
Right? I see that a lot. It's frustrating to me when you've got 2 people competing and one person obviously put in the work and did all the training, the other person didn't, and it's just a shit show.
Yeah,
But,
you see that a lot. You see one guy that is 100% prepared and one guy that they might have just found him in the bar last week or something like that.
Right.
Paying him $100 to take a fall.
Yeah, I like a lot of times to look at the sport of boxing and business and kind of look at the similarities, and I see that a lot, right, where we have one guy busting his ass over here doing all the stuff that he's supposed to be doing, and the guy over here that's crying woe is me, struggling with his business and wondering what the hell's going on.
Exactly.
It's like, well, you're not putting in the training, man.
Exactly. Right.
It just is what it is.
That's it.
So you're in High Ridge. It's High Ridge, Missouri, and I'm familiar with the area because we went to the same high school years apart from each other, so I'm familiar with that area. I would consider it a rural area.
It is, yeah.
It is. So, but it's suburban-ish.
There's some things popping up.
It's a rural area that's getting to be suburban area.
Yeah.
Right, which is challenging for boutique fitness. So if you're near Fit and Garbois Bluffs, that's highly populated. It's my opinion, and I don't know this for sure, and you might want to do a little research, that a boutique fitness gym needs within 10 square miles 80,000 people.
80,000.
80,000.
There's 80,000.
Within 10 square miles. There is within 10 square miles there is. Right?
Yeah.
So with boutique fitness, a member will drive to you. You don't have to be hyper convenient for them because you're giving a different kind of experience.
Right.
Than club fitness.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, when they come there, they're coming there to be led through a workout. We have people that come all the way from Lee Summit to work out at our gym. Yeah, in Hillsboro.
Which is, for the audience, probably 30 miles.
Probably 30 miles away, yeah. Some people are driving 30 to 40 minutes to come to the gym.
Right. This is so important for business owners out there. If you're going to start a business, don't just cookie cutter something the way somebody else has done it. Make it different. Make it unique. Make it you, right? You're a boxer, so you need boxing. Right, makes a ton of sense.
I try to make it as realistic as possible without making it too complicated for an average Joe that's never boxed before or maybe even worked out before.
Yeah, boxers work out, and I'm wildly familiar with this. I also own, I guess, if we were closer, we'd be competing gyms,
Right.
But we're not closer
Yeah.
together, so luckily we don't have to have that problem with each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
But we have very similar businesses, but wildly different, right? My
Right.
footprint's like 4,500 square foot.
I'm 1,000.
Oh, you're only 1,000 square feet.
1,000 square feet. Yeah.
Oh, well, I think that's a really good
yeah.
footprint for that area.
It is, and it works out because it's a 30-minute workout and it's a circuit. So every 3 minutes, someone new is jumping into the workout. So it's really a kind of in and out kind of thing.
Right.
So for the building being as small as it is, only 1,000 square foot, it works out.
Yeah. So how many stations do you have in your circuit?
We have 8 altogether. Sometimes there's more. Sometimes I'll do 8. Sometimes 10. Sometimes 12.
Okay.
It just,
So you have like heavy bags and different kinds of bags that they
yeah,
run through.
we have
and then
different heavy bags, double M bag, speed bag. We have a little section with barbells, dumbbells, things like
Right.
that.
Okay. So I know that you've worked at other boxing gyms
Yeah.
throughout your career. Did you have any problems with non-competes?
No,
No?
not really, not yet.
Did you not sign non-competes with previous gyms, or they just
Yeah, I never really signed anything with any previous gyms.
Okay.
That I worked for.
It's really important to know that especially in the gym industry, if you want to open a gym, I think it's always good advice to work in a gym.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
To understand what's going on first. Any business,
Right.
before you decide to open a business, you want to do some research. And the easiest
Exactly.
way to do that is work in one.
Yeah.
Is really read your non-competes and understand what they are. Don't sign them if you're thinking about opening a gym
Right.
or something like that. But at the end of the day, I know in Missouri it's really hard to even enforce non-competes.
Yeah.
Because we are right to work state.
Right.
And the judges generally lean on hey, you can't take somebody's well-being away from them.
Right.
Right. So that's always good. What was your first business that you opened?
My first business I opened was a handyman business.
Okay.
I opened that of January.
Perfect timing to start
Yeah.
opening a business where you're going to houses.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So
Surprisingly.
that was gangbusters for a month,
Yeah.
and then the country shut down.
Surprisingly, once everyone got their stimulus checks, they were ready to spend it. So
Okay.
it was actually perfect timing. I'm young. I'm 25. That was the most money I've made in my life.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
it was more than I could ask for. I mean, the work was rolling and quick. So
And is that still running, or did you shut it down to open a gym?
I joined with a partner, and we started taking on bigger jobs. He was a union carpenter, and he quit. I paid him a 6-month salary to quit, and that kept him hanging on, and he realized how much money you can make doing contracting. So he started doing that with me, and I just saved money to open my gym because I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
And he continues to run the business now. He's the owner of the business, and
Okay.
I just stick with the main event. So
Okay.
a lot to keep up with.
8's tough.
Yeah.
5's almost impossible.
Oh yeah, it's too much.
We do. I go all the way to as young as 5, and that's wildly challenging
Oh,
for the wrong children. Some kids get
God.
it, some kids don't. It's just like anything else.
Right.
Wonderful. So, handyman business was your first entrepreneur. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to be a
Yeah.
handyman. And before that, I think you were a union electrician.
Yeah, I was in the electrician's union. Actually, before I started the handyman business, I was climbing cell towers for a company called True North.
I've climbed a couple cell towers in my life, and the difference between 50 foot and 100 foot is a wildly different story at 50 foot than at 100 foot on one of those
Oh,
towers.
yeah.
Now, I didn't do cell towers. You got pliers and shit in your hands,
Right.
and you're trying to swap out a radio. It's just,
Oh,
it's
my
not,
gosh. We were on a tower one time, and it was swaying 7 foot on left to right in the wind. They call it a stealth tower, where it's just freestanding and
Yeah.
a tube, and scary stuff. It's the travel on the road. It's too much.
and you did work at my gym for a minute.
I did. I worked for
Like-
Title Boxing for a minute.
Yeah.
That was the first boxing gym I ever worked at, actually.
Yeah, and I don't own a title boxing club anymore.
Yeah,
I own it's called Box STL. It's
Yeah.
a different business, different city. Just
Better.
I shut that title down and I opened a completely different business.
Yeah.
Right down in a different city. So to prevent my non-compete issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so and that was fun, and that was your first boxing gig.
It was.
as a job.
Right.
But then, what year did you go pro as boxing?
I think I went pro in 2018, I believe.
Okay.
2018, 2019, something like that.
Gotcha. Alrighty. How different is it from amateur boxing and pro boxing?
It's a big difference.
Really?
Professional boxing, depending on how serious you are as a professional boxer, you have to present yourself as a professional. From the time you bring yourself in front of the commission when you go to weigh in to the time you walk out in front of the crowd, how you carry yourself, the start of the show, when people are walking in, how you're acting around people who are there to see you. You have to be more disciplined as a professional than an amateur. Amateur is tough work, but the thing is, the pros, it's a business. So whatever you do, everything you do, it affects you. Everything you do, you're marketing yourself. So
Okay. So is the 6 weeks prior to a match the same, or is it even more intense as well?
It's more intense, yeah.
Is it? Okay.
6 weeks prior to a match, you have a lot that you're thinking about, because when you're in there fighting, every win and every loss is crucial. You don't want a loss on your record as a professional. In the amateurs, I probably have 20 plus losses on my 100 plus fights, but the thing is, they're learning experiences.
Right.
In the pros, if you lose, that one on your record could go with you for the rest of your career and have the difference between fighting a guy on the A side or the B side.
Yeah, and the losses take money away from you long term.
It does.
Right.
It does.
It's
yeah.
It's not going to let you
It
ramp
affects
up.
your longevity of your career.
Right.
So.
Are you still considering making that run for pro boxing as a career?
Yeah. I think I'm still young and doing what I'm doing. I'm on my own time now.
Right.
And I've kind of figured out an even balance to train and take care of myself and run a business. And it's actually helped my business with people finding out that I had a fight coming up from the smaller town that I'm from.
Right.
It drew people to my gym. They were curious.
Absolutely. For me, I know whenever I did a couple amateur fights in Golden Gloves.
Yeah.
And you were my corner.
Yeah.
For my
yeah.
match, and I won. It was
awesome.
A whole lot of fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed the hell out of it. But it helps the gym a lot. And
it does.
And I think it's really important in business to understand that if you're doing what your business does in a bigger way, like if you're doing something at a pro or amateur level and you're teaching, the average Joe that thing,
right?
You have those check boxes really easy,
exactly.
right? They understand. Oh, I'm going to get trained. He's done it before. He can train me to do this, right? So I think it's important to, we call it in the IT world, eat your own dog food.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what I do. This is what I'm going to teach other people to do. I'm not going to be a pro boxer and teach dance.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make any sense
it
at
doesn't.
all. And
no.
I see a lot of people I know a lot of business owners, and I know a lot of wildly successful, and a lot of guys that are struggling and ladies that are struggling on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
And sometimes I scratch my head. I'm like, I can't figure out why they're doing the business that they're doing.
Yeah.
like why are you doing? It doesn't make any sense to me. Why you're running a Subway.
Exactly.
And you don't care at all about.
Right. And
food.
in a way, that's how the handyman business was for me. I've worked a lot. Every job I've ever had was construction, but at the same time, I'm doing things, some of the things I've never done before, and YouTube was my friend. And although it's handyman jobs, and most of the jobs were DIY things,
right.
But I had no business doing them. I did them, and I did them well, and I pleased my customers. But yeah, it's just that was it for me. I was questioning, okay, why am I a handyman when I've dedicated 15 years of my life to boxing?
Right. Well, boxing is a tough career, right?
It is.
And it's a tough thing to make a business out of.
Yeah.
Right. And training boxers, there's a very small percentage of the world that's ever going to compete at an amateur level in boxing.
Oh, yeah.
And even smaller percentage that's going to go pro.
Right.
My heart goes out to the guys that are training the pros and trying to make a living doing that. It's wildly challenging. I would have to imagine, right? And I know a couple coaches that are in that bucket.
Yeah.
And I love them to death. But I don't know how they pay their bills every month.
Yeah,
right?
you can't. You can't. The
So,
truth is you can't.
Yeah. So, finding an interesting way to bring your craft to the public,
right?
I think is huge. And, we've got today your brick and mortar. Are you thinking about adding an online component to main event?
I would like to, yeah. Because so when I I built the main event with my own hands. When I got the building, it was
Right.
crap. So I built it with my own hands. But while I was building it, I had in mind, what if COVID ever happened again? You
Right.
remember when they were taping off things in gyms and everything had to be 6 foot apart?
Right.
I purposely made everything a particular distance away
Right.
from each other.
Yeah.
And with having little space, I designed the workout so that no one could be too close to each other. And if I had to put plexiglass up, it'd be easy for me to do now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All of our heavy bags at our gym, Box STL, are 6 feet apart.
Right.
Like, exactly 6 feet apart. So,
Yeah.
And then all the equipment is 6 feet apart. It's a challenge, but it is what it is, right? You got to do.
Yeah.
You want to do business, so you
Right.
deal with the guidelines of
Yeah.
the community that you're currently in, so that you can service them, right?
Right. Right.
It's always a challenge, but it's a worthwhile challenge.
It is. Yeah.
Nothing else.
My dad always says I'm a gambler. I've always been a gambler, and opening a gym where I'm opening a gym is a huge gamble and a risk, but I think I have the credentials to do it and make something of it. So.
Yeah, and you're bringing something to a community. I mean, it's a rural community. I would say small town.
Yeah,
Good old
yeah.
boy.
Oh yeah.
Kind
for
of
sure.
place, right?
Right,
and,
right.
Salt of the earth, like it's
Yeah.
where I'm from too. I mean,
Oh,
I'm from right down the street from High Ridge, so I get it. Now, in those communities, and I grew up in this kind of community, and I've been out of this community for a very long time. There's a lot of low income
Oh, there is. Yeah.
around you, trailer parks,
Exactly.
lots of apartments and things like that. They can't afford the service
Right.
that at the rate that you need to charge to pay the bills and pay employees and all that other stuff. Do you let it slide a lot, or do you just hold your ground? Because
No.
once you start dropping your price for
Yeah.
the masses, you
Right.
can never come back up,
Right.
And it's a trap that a lot of business owners get into. Of, oh, I'll lower my price to get the customers.
Yeah.
How do you handle that with low income people coming to your gym, and you need to charge a premium
Right.
to pay the rent,
Yeah.
and to pay for the equipment, and the
Yeah.
upkeep and insurance and all that stuff, right? I mean,
Sure. Yeah.
it's challenging.
The thing is, most people in the area know of me, and the people that do come to me who are low income, sounds harsh, but I don't feel sorry for them because I was raised in a trailer park. I know what it's like to be that kid that maybe, but I mean, my parents luckily were hardworking, and if I wanted to play a sport or do something, my dad would pick up an extra side job, roofing, to make me, So I don't lower my price. I say, okay, I tell you what, if this is what you want to do, just commit to me for 1 month. Give me the money for this 1 month. If you don't have it next month, then okay, you can just don't come back, or
Right. We'll figure something. Figure it out then.
Figure
Right.
something out then. Yeah.
I find that in the fitness industry, you've got all the way as low as Edge Fitness doing no setup fee, $10 a month.
Yeah.
And they have what seems like all these great amenities, right?
Right.
But they don't have any personality.
Exactly.
And they'll
yeah.
get you in a weird ass long contract that they'll try to sue you if you try to break it, or
Yeah.
for $10 a month, and it's never ends up being $10 a month.
Right.
And then on the boutique side, I mean, I don't know what you charge per month. I'm assuming it's $50 or more dollars.
Yeah.
Per month.
$72 per month.
$72 per month,
Yeah.
which I think is a really great price, because every single time you got basically a personal
Yeah.
trainer,
Yeah.
and personal trainer sessions are $50 to $100 per session.
Oh yeah.
Just by themselves, right? So you
Right.
get the motivation, the education, the expertise, all of those things
Yeah.
for $72 a month.
Which is dirt cheap.
It's a couple dollars a day, right?
Yeah.
For a personal trainer. And for me, fitness was just this bizarre thing that I could never figure out, right? I didn't start.
Oh yeah.
I was 40 when I found fitness,
Yeah.
right? And I
Okay.
was almost dead at the time, right? I had liver failure and fatty liver disease, and
Wow.
it was really
not know
bad. And I found boxing. I've always liked fighting.
Yeah.
I just never knew that it could be a business, right?
Right.
I got paid $6 an hour to fight at the bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I like this. This is fun.
Right.
I get my aggressions out and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
I move on with life.
There's no trouble.
But then, being too much at the bar,
Yeah.
led to its own problems.
Right.
And I keep going, and then I end up that's how I found boxing. But you've been
Okay.
boxing since you were a kid.
Yeah. 10
Right.
years old.
How much do you attribute the sport of boxing to your ability to look at adversity in business and keep moving forward?
I mean, boxing has everything to do with my mindset towards business and adversity. My coach, so when I started my business, my coach just told me one day when I told him I was done being a handyman, he's like, well, why don't you just open that gym you've wanted to do? Always open. And I'm like, oh, I saved up like, I had 10 grand. I'm like, I only have 10 grand. And he's like, okay, so there's 10 grand. That's a start. Go open your business. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And so that's when I did it. And that's just the mindset you have in boxing. You're just like, okay, this guy might be undefeated and knocked out this many guys, but he hasn't fought me yet.
Yeah, I know that, my first match and you were my corner.
Yeah.
I was probably 30 pounds heavier than I am today.
Oh yeah.
And but my cardio was through the roof. I'd been busting my ass for a very, very long time. I camped proper. And my opponent was this like jacked, ripped guy, right?
Oh yeah.
And everybody's like, oh my God, Ken's gonna get his ass kicked. I dominated the fight.
Oh, you handled it very well.
But it was still scary as hell looking at this guy that's got arms that touch the floor, it's ripped, right? I'm like, oh shit, what did I get myself into? And in business, you find yourself that every week sitting there looking at the paycheck and watching the bills come down and, oh shit, I need more clients and all of these things. So boxing has really helped me overcome a lot of the problems that I had in business on mindset and, adversity and all of those things. Still, my biggest issue is discipline.
Yeah.
Across all of the different mindsets. Well, for me personally, other people have problems with my candor. Right?
Yeah.
I'm a little blunt.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm working on that too.
Yeah.
But discipline is where my wheels fall off the bus. And it's not discipline like most people think. I've got the discipline to go to the gym and do all of those things.
Right.
It's my discipline problem. And we've had a couple conversations about this in our existence together. And I've even had your coach, because I work with your coach, Kirk, in different worlds, say some stuff that leads me to believe that you've had some of those problems in your past too. How do you deal with discipline? And is it the same as mine is? I have no problems doing the hard work. Mm-hmm. I have problems with not enjoying the sweet treats in life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where I really fall apart
that's my biggest problem.
Right. Do you have any tips on how you avoid those sweet treats or what you do to prevent yourself from going off too far into that, right? You got to dribble a little bit, right? You got to have some.
You do sometimes. I always look the extra mile. If you look a mile ahead of you, then you're like, okay, if I skip this today, let's say I want to have this ding dong really bad, but I got to weigh in 5 days. Okay, I can skip this ding dong.
Right.
This one ding dong, weigh in 5 days, fight, and then I can have 5 ding dongs after the fight.
Well, yeah, but you don't always have a weigh-in.
You don't always have a weigh-in.
Right. Yeah. So how do you, for me, if I always had a weigh-in, and I'm 201 plus fighter, so I don't ever have weigh-ins.
Right.
So that's not a problem. Like I don't even have that problem of ever having to weigh in if I were to have a match. But in the mindset of, oh, I have this coming up. Yeah. I guess you could try to fake some event that you have to be ready for.
Yeah. So I'll put it this way. So right now with my business, I have no profit yet from this business.
Right.
Which, okay, that's fine. If I have to do a couple side handyman jobs, I'll do that. Right. It's just part of the hustle. So I'm looking at it, and my wife, she's a school nurse, and she's a trooper through all this. She's really helping out. She's the cash cow right now. Out of us two. I think of us as a team. So she helps out a lot. But in the long run, it's only been 2 months since my gym's been open. And in that short amount of time, for it being something so new to the area, I already have 40 members. So 40 members coming in little less than 2 months, that's not bad. So
and I'm gonna make some guesses here because at 1,000 square foot, I think I got a rough estimate about what your bills are. You're probably cash flow positive at this point.
Or
cash flow, like operationally even.
Right.
Your money's still got to come back to you.
Yeah.
But you're at a place now, and 40 members isn't a lot. That's pretty easy to maintain.
It is, yeah. It's not a lot. My goal is 100 by the end of the summer. So.
Oh, and I think for your industry, you're getting ready to hit a big growth spurt.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Boutique fitness, in my experience, the junk gyms, the $10 gyms, their busy season is January 1st.
Yeah.
And the boutique gym is like March and April, because the people that bought the $10 gym in January realize it's not working for them.
Right.
And they're looking for something more before swimsuit season hits.
Exactly.
Right. So March and April
Right.
are really great months.
It
has been my experience for memberships coming in. It's also, they stop coming in. They pay their monthly fee, but they come less because it's springtime and it's beautiful outside. But
Right.
You want them to come in. Whereas this model is, you want them to come in. You want them to be committed. You want them there 2-3 days a week.
Right.
Whereas the big box gym, they want them to pay and never come in.
Right.
Because they can't
Exactly.
they can't get everybody the membership in the building anyway.
Yeah.
They so oversell it. It's bad. I don't like that kind of business, the big box gym, personally.
Yeah.
It
seems like it would be a pain to me. You'd have people calling all the time that maybe realize, all right, I've been paying $100 a month for this gym and I don't even go.
Right. So I have, my main two businesses are Box STL and Hosterian, and then Clicks and Bricks, obviously. At Hosterian, I've got about 1,000 clients. I know every single one of them.
Oh, nice.
Right. At Box, we've got 300 students. My wife knows them all.
Yeah.
by name. I know, the ones that I go when I'm there. I'm there 4 nights a week, but she's there all day, every day. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just there a couple nights a week. So
right.
But she knows everybody. And I love that I can create a business that I know the people and I'm making real changes in their lives.
Yeah. That's
right?
something I've noticed with mine. I mean, names have been a big struggle for me for I don't know how long. Maybe it has to do with boxing, but.
Well, I don't know all their names. I said I know them. I don't know their first name if I saw them on the street. But
I made it a goal to be able to greet them by name every time they come in. I'm like, oh, hey, Dave, or So yeah, I think that's a big thing, is being able to greet them by name every time they come in the door. So even though it's 40 members, we're almost to where we can start making a profit, like maybe $100 a month.
Right. Yeah.
But those 40 members, it's easy to recognize their names as of now. Well, by the time we get to 100, that's going to be a challenge. But
yeah, you'll get there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm assuming you have some kind of application that's billing them all.
Yeah, we use GlowFox.
Okay.
So that's been pretty good. We started off with Square, and that was tough.
Okay. My gym uses something called Zen Planner. We love it. It's really great.
Never heard of Zen Planner.
Yeah, it's for boutique fitness.
Cool.
So check it out. I'm not affiliated. I mean, I'm a customer, but I don't get anything if you sign up with them.
Okay.
And you use GlowFox?
Yeah, GlowFox.
Okay. Is it pretty easy to use?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to use. It's got the app and all that you can download to your phone, and they can sign up for boot camps and
nice.
Download video. That's one thing I'm thinking about getting into. I've been recording myself talking to a camera a lot lately, trying to get better at it so that I can start making videos for people who maybe can't make it into the gym, but they can get on their phone and search a video and maybe do some kind of like shadow boxing workout or something.
Right.
So
shadow boxing's tough.
It is. It is.
People think it's easy. And I don't know what the hardest part of shadow boxing is. The hardest part for me to teach somebody how to shadow box is them getting over
the awkwardness,
their own head if somebody's watching them.
Right.
Yeah, I look so stupid and blah, blah, blah. It's like, just do it. You got to do it 1,000 times and you'll start looking like you know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
It's okay.
I love shadow boxing.
If you look a little, I hate shadow boxing. I don't like when my coach makes me do it. I don't like doing it at all.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of just straight up sparring nonstop. Like, that's how I train.
I would prefer that too.
Like, just, okay, we're here. We're going to warm up for 10 minutes and we're going to get to it. And we're going to spar 10, 15 rounds.
That's what we
light, heavy, back and forth. And to me, there's no training that can simulate the real thing.
There isn't. No.
The amount of time that I spent on a heavy bag training screwed me up more than it helped me.
Yeah. You
right.
create
It's good
bad
for
habits.
cardio. It's just bad habits and stuff like that. So the real world is where I like to live, which is why I opened a different gym from Title, because I wasn't allowed to spar there.
Right.
So
exactly.
I had to shut that down and do something completely different. After I had a match, I'm like, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's addicting. Once you get that in the ring for the first time, you're like.
If my first one was a loss, I'd probably have a different mindset.
Yeah, but it's good to get a first win. That's
yeah.
Oh man, there's no other feeling, but it's addicting. It is. When
But-
Mike Tyson talks about being like a warrior and stuff, people think he's nuts, but unless you've been in the ring and witnessed you don't know, you can't understand it, but it's insane.
It's a moment of you stand in the ring and you look at another man, your
Yeah.
size,
Yeah.
roughly your capability,
Right.
right? Because if it's matched properly, it should be a really good, tight match
Yeah.
that wants to do you harm.
Yeah. Right.
And
It's either you or him.
yeah, and I don't really have the mindset of doing other people harm.
No.
And a lot of boxers don't. Like
Yeah.
it's a sport. It's about, how we can maneuver and things like that. But a lot of boxers do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is what it is, right? You get in
Right.
there, you do your best, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and
Yeah.
and you train into the next day, right?
Right. Right.
And in business, it's the same way. Some
It
days
is.
you wake up and you win. Some days you get 10 new clients, and some days
Yeah.
you
some
go
days
2
not.
weeks and the phone doesn't ring. You're like, what the hell's going on? What am I
Right.
doing wrong? Now, post-pandemic, you open a boutique gym, all about boxing, professional boxer in your area.
Mm-hmm.
You're a young guy, so you didn't live in a world without social media.
Right.
You don't remember opening the yellow pages to find a business.
I've never opened a yellow page.
You've
in my
never
life.
opened the yellow pages. Imagine, and I hear in my other business, at Hosterian, we hear almost weekly from business owners, social media doesn't work.
Yeah. I don't
Now,
know.
you've opened a business.
Mm-hmm.
You're to operationally break even in 2 months, which is huge. Like a lot of businesses open, they don't get the operationally break even, cash
Yeah.
flow positive or cash flow even for years, right? There are total investments in there, and they're still investing every single month to even pay the bills, right? But 2 months in, you're already paying the bills.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because
How important has social media been in your growth for this gym?
if I didn't have social media, I wouldn't have any members in my gym.
You'd have none.
Social media was everything. Every single person who's coming to my gym, seen that on social media. Oh, I seen that you were opening a gym on Facebook, and that's why I came here. Everybody,
Right.
social media is everything.
So are you still inside all businesses? There's not all businesses, but most when they start, especially when a person starts them, there's this kind of cycle that goes. And the first cycle of customers is friends and family. And the second one
Yeah.
is outside of those friends and family. Are you past the friends and family members yet?
Yeah. My first 10 customers were friends and family.
Right.
And I picked up on that, and I was like, I pretty much told them flat out, being as blunt as I am. I'm like, hey, do you think I'm some kind of charity or something?
Right.
I'm like, I don't want all my friends and family in here paying to work out. I want people to come in here and work out. I want
Right.
people to see what we have to offer.
But you can't undervalue your service
Oh,
either. Your
no.
friends and family might really enjoy it, right?
Oh, they do really enjoy it, yeah.
I know my sister-in-law, they come up to my gym, and they live in High Ridge.
Oh, cool.
And they drive up, but I don't charge them
Yeah.
anymore. Right?
Yeah,
my
yeah.
sister-in-law, I don't charge. But they still drive up to our gym. Not
Right.
much. But,
Yeah.
But occasionally they'll come up. And I think now everybody in my gym is a friend of mine,
Yeah,
but I know them from the gym.
right.
Right? They're not here because
Yeah, you met them at the gym.
I met them there, and that's a really good feeling. So now, 66% or 75% of your members are people that you didn't know
Right.
prior to opening,
Yeah.
right? And that's all social media.
Yeah, social media is huge.
Is that so I've been dealing with the guy Desmond recently. He did Chris knows what episode he was on, and he does social media marketing and management and stuff like that.
Okay.
But his whole stick is you don't even have to pay for ads. You don't even have to pay for Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn ads. You just make posts.
Yeah.
So are you buying any ads on Facebook, or is this simply organic? You've got the Facebook page, the Instagram page, and you're pushing content out.
Yeah, I've just pretty much been hitting content pretty hard. I mean, sometimes I think I post too much. I don't know if that's really a thing, is posting too much, but
But Desmond would tell you, and he's a pro at
Yeah.
social media, that if you think you're posting enough, you're not posting enough.
okay.
If you think you're posting too much, you're probably still not posting enough.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way those algorithms, I mean, they just go, right? It's just
Yeah, it
constantly
is.
flooding, right?
It is.
And we think like, oh, we put this post out, I don't want to bother people again. Well, in 4 minutes, it's a completely different group of people looking at it.
True.
Like,
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. I don't,
They're scrolling constantly.
I look at a lot of different business people all the time, and I just use Gary Vee's method of just don't judge yourself and post as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
That's what I'm
and-
trying to get past right now. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to get better at talking to a camera.
Right.
And like even doing this, I've already gotten better being able to do this. Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, I'm getting better with speaking with people. I used to be really socially awkward. So the talking to a camera thing on social media and like posting a lot on social media, it was tough at first, but now I'm kind of being selfish about it, and I'm like, you know what, this is best for my business. I just need to keep it out there.
Yeah, I have, and I, I've talked about this on the show a couple times, and I've even talked to my, psychiatrist and my therapist about it. I have a little bit of imposter syndrome sometimes.
Okay, what's
Like,
that?
It's like, who am I to be telling the world this kind of stuff?
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
Like, who am I to telling the world that, like, oh, this is what it takes to be a champion, or this is what it takes to get there, right? Because I've had my own own ups and downs, right?
Right,
That it's always in a challenge to get to be great.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have that problem sometimes because I'm, I grew up in an apartment in Lower Arnold, and I came from pretty low beginnings,
Right.
And have figured it out. Now
You've done a hell of a job, it seems like, man.
I have a lot of stuff now.
Yeah.
A whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And
You've come
it's
a long
hard for
way.
me to sometimes stop and look at that and go, oh, I have achieved all this stuff, and I do have benefit for the world.
Yeah.
Right.
I can relate to that.
And that has, for me, hurt me on a lot of social media posting and things like that. It's like, well, they don't want to hear this. Or
exactly.
on the other side, it's like, oh, well, everybody already knows that. Why would I post it again?
Right.
Right. And that's just not true. I think the beautiful thing about social media, or one of the beautiful things about social media, with all the negative things, is that it does reach so many people, and you never know who that meme or that one post is going to help.
Right. Yeah.
And in your business, Main Event Boxing, you're not just helping people get fit.
No, I'm witnessing it already. It's doing so much more for people. It's insane.
It's wild, isn't it?
It is. It blows my mind. I never realized, because I've always just done it for a competition. And now I'm watching these people that do it that are dealing with problems in their own life. And I noticed a difference in their posture when they leave the gym than when they came in.
Right. It helps them talk to their wives and their husbands.
Yeah.
It helps them talk to their bosses and have the confidence to go up and say, hey, I think this is wrong, or hey, I think we can do this instead.
Right.
Right. Boxing gives you a ton of different aspects of mindset.
It does.
Right.
It does.
Tenacity, pushing through hard struggles, adversity.
Yeah.
The joy of winning. Right.
Right.
That's a huge one that we don't talk about in boxing very much, is that thrill of winning a competition.
Right.
Is intoxicating.
It is. It is. It's hard for me to talk about it so much because I think sometimes I try too much to be humble. I think I try so hard to be humble sometimes that I almost catch myself like being out of character, trying to be so humble sometimes. If that makes sense.
Is your out of character because you don't think you should be that humble?
Yeah, sometimes I'm being too humble. I do have a lot to brag about sometimes.
Right.
As far as business, I'm all about just being humble. I'm like, okay, I haven't done anything in the business world yet, but as for boxing, with my gym, when me and my dad and my father-in-law were putting my gym together, they wanted to hype it up with pictures of me fighting and all this stuff, and I'm more into putting Muhammad Ali and some of the greats in there.
Right.
In their eyes, everything I've done in boxing is awesome, so that's what I should post in my gym. But me, I guess being humble about it, I'm like, no, I don't want to put my old trophies in my gym. I don't want to put my old belts in my gym. I don't want to put pictures of me in my gym, things like that.
Yeah, I think you got to find a nice balance.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you've already said that people are coming to your gym because of you, because they know you're a local fighter. They know.
Yeah.
And you compete with Robert McGee on your team, and he's coming up right now, right?
Oh,
he's fighting a lot right now.
He is. He's on the rise.
Yeah. So, and you're on his. Who else on your team?
Got Robert McGee
on the pro level.
Okay. We got Robert McGee. We got Jamar Pepperton. He just signed a contract. He'll be making his pro debut this year.
Okay.
And that's it as far as the pros.
Yeah, Kirk leads a pretty tight team, right?
Yeah, Kirk has a small gym that he only allows so many people in.
Right.
So
And he does it because he loves it.
he loves it. He doesn't charge people. He trains everyone for free,
Right, which is crazy.
which is insane.
But he makes his money then on the promotion side.
Yeah, I think he gets a little bit of money from that.
Right. Not a
So-
whole. I mean, he's an old guy.
He's old.
He's got
retired.
Social Security
Yeah.
now, right? Sorry, Kirk.
Yeah. He's
I
retired.
love
now.
you to death.
Right.
But he doesn't charge his fighters.
No.
He puts on the promotions and he gets a couple bucks from that.
Yeah.
It's still not. I mean, a pro fight is not an inexpensive thing to throw.
It's not.
It's a big risk.
It's a huge risk. I mean,
Right.
most of the time he's hoping that he breaks even, and if he does make any profit, what he does with that profit is he
Puts it back in the
takes it to put it back into the gym.
Right. So
You know,
Yep.
he has to pay for a slot for guys to fight on other pro shows. It's the business of boxing's weird.
it's a tough business. I'll be getting into promotions maybe this year.
Wow.
Maybe
Okay.
this year, but we're gonna
Okay.
only amateur.
There you go.
Only amateur. I've
Okay.
got a couple boys that I want to try to get into the Olympics.
Yeah, I see you have a couple guys that's been fighting.
Yeah, I've got
That's
a
awesome.
good little team going right now.
That's good
I'm
stuff,
super excited. My gym has only been sanctioned this year,
Yeah.
and we've 4 matches and we have 3 wins.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's huge.
so
And imagine the impact you have on those kids.
it's insane.
Oh,
Like the amount of I've never done anything that's given me as much joy
I bet.
as those kids turning around.
Right.
I literally now have doctors recommending kids to our
Wow.
gym
Wow. That's
because
awesome.
we've had kids with OCD that
Yeah.
the doctor would say that I cured him somehow. I'm like, no, he did it. He did it. I mean, I just stand there and yell at him.
Yeah.
I didn't do the work. The kid did all the work.
Yeah.
Right. But the sport has,
Right.
for lack of better terms, beaten the OCD out of this kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it
he
can
he
do
just
that.
doesn't have it anymore.
Right.
And if he stopped, maybe it reintroduces itself. Who knows? But
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can vouch for that. I have pretty bad anxiety, and when I'm out of boxing for too long, it definitely gets worse. You know?
Really,
It does. It's something about working out and exhausting yourself.
right.
You know.
I have a pretty firm belief that boxing and business
Mm-hmm.
both exercise a person's fight or flight. What is that called? It's fight or flight instincts.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And boxing and business both exercise that. And I think that there's not a lot of things in today's world, in today's society,
Yeah.
that exercise your fight or flight anymore.
No. There's
Right.
not.
And I think that's why America, as
Mm-hmm.
a first world country, economic superpower, has such a problem with obesity and anxiety,
Right.
is because we're not exercising. Like, forget about the sport of boxing, but we don't exercise this core fundamental instinct that human beings have.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we have anxiety. That's why we have obesity.
Right.
Or not the only reason. There's a whole lot of other reasons
Yeah.
too. But that's also, I think, why we have these, pop off road rage incidences and the
Oh,
kids
sure.
with the, shooting up the schools and all that stuff. Because
Yeah.
they don't know how to deal.
Right.
We've bred bullying out of our schools, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But we didn't figure out a way
Right.
to exercise adversity in life.
Exactly.
So
Bullies were in a way good for people, I think, because like you're saying, you were dealing with adversity. You're
right,
learning to shake
and it's bad.
things off.
I'm not condoning
No,
bullying,
no.
but at the same time, how do we teach adversity to our children?
Right.
Because in your business, there's going to be days to where you think that you've already failed, right?
That's every day at least.
Like, you're going to be looking at
I'm
your
like,
checkbook and you're going to be like, you're going to have an employee quit. And you're like, man, I don't know how to get through this. You're going to have somebody not show up for a shift and you got to do double duty. You're going to have all kinds of things go wrong
Right.
from what your plan was
Yeah.
that you're going to want to quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you're going to want to break something or punch something or do something stupid.
Right.
And I mean, you have to that's why I think they say do what you love.
Exactly.
Right. Because
Yeah.
if you don't love what you're doing, you're going to quit.
You'll go
when
mad,
it gets
yeah.
hard. If you're, because it is easier just to go get a job.
It is. Yeah.
Right. It's not easier to keep a job.
No.
But
No.
you can't fire. I mean, you can quit yourself, but you can't fire yourself.
Right.
But it is easier just to go find a job and work that job than it is to do what we're doing.
It is.
But it's nowhere near as gratifying
Right.
at the end of the day. But then you don't have these it's somebody else's problem then on how to pay the bills and what the next marketing campaign is going to be. And am I going to spend money on, a new 3D scan for my facility so that it's on Google and all those stuff? Like, am I going to pull the money out of my pocket to do that? Because that could mean I'm not buying formula for my kid this week if this doesn't work right.
Right. Yeah.
And that's scary shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
So,
yeah.
And you're also newlywed.
I'm just married.
Any children?
Not yet.
Not yet.
My wife wants kids, babe.
Wants kids.
So that's a little bit of motivation for me. I'm like, okay, I got to get myself in a certain position. I think that way, but
right. So the Main Event Boxing, is it going to be one location forever, or do you want to franchise?
No, I do. I want to franchise. Right now I'm experimenting with. I mean, I have a set way that the gym's being ran, but I'm experimenting with what people like most. Like today, before I came here, I just installed 5 new heavy bag racks. We're about to start hosting boot camps.
Okay.
We're going to host 3 boot camps a day, 2 in the morning, 1 in the evening, alongside of the workout of the day, which is pretty much the bulk of our workout. The workout of the day is where people actually get to learn boxing. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I want to be more of a group fitness instructor who teaches boxing, or a boxing gym where you actually learn boxing and just benefit from it. If that makes sense.
Right. I'm trying to do both.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard.
And it's really, really challenging.
Yeah.
Right. And if I pull it off, I think I'll be one of the only gyms.
Well, just seeing what you're doing, it seems like you are pulling it off. I mean, you have fighters, you have guys that are fighting already, and you have
they're
full
amateurs
classes.
and they're youth.
That's still huge to take a guy from the ground up who maybe thrown a baseball a couple times in his life, and then have him in there to fight another kid. That's huge.
Right.
That's a big thing.
It's been a lot of fun. Not saying it hasn't been challenging.
Right.
At every single turn of the game, but I love it so much that I could not imagine.
Right.
I'm in the right place for my life right now.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down. I don't question that at all. But we chose specifically to stick with youth competition and adult fitness is what Box STL is. And I don't think I'm franchising it. I don't think I'm ever going to have.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I've got another concept in mind I'll talk to you about. And I've got a couple other things that I like doing.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that off of camera.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think I'm going to have another boxing gym.
Wow.
Again, I'm just going to stick this one.
I really because I mean, I noticed you guys do a really good job at branding. I see pictures of you and your wife at the fights. You have the Box STL attire on. Your Box STL, Box STL is like, that looks like something that needs to be franchised throughout St. Louis.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm in a couple other legal battles right now as well about the boxing gyms. So
Gotcha.
We'll see what happens when all that shakes out.
Yeah.
But I've had so much fun. And right now I'm under the belief that this particular style that we're doing of having competition and fitness in one gym requires, it either requires the owner to be there, or somebody wildly passionate about the business.
Gotcha.
At all times, right?
Right.
And I just don't know that I'll find that.
Yeah.
By franchising it out, I just don't know,
okay.
right? And because even with me there and my wife there every day, it tries to slip into an all fitness or an all competition gym.
Gotcha.
It tries to slip one way or the other.
So finding the balance is pretty tough.
Keeping that balance there and having that hard line, like, no, this is the competition side, this is the fitness side, and they don't mix with each other because, competition fighters.
It's a different mindset.
They're walking around in their underpants and they're throwing snot rockets.
Yeah.
And, it's not good.
Right.
It's fine for them. It's their thing, right? They're doing something different than, the 40-year-old business guy, which is really why I started doing this was I couldn't find a boxing gym that I could walk into and get a good workout without some 20-year-old kid whipping my ass.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense. Yeah. There's nothing like that.
There wasn't one around. Title boxing clubs were around.
They're not authentic.
Title had a great run.
They had a
Right.
good idea. They got a great business motto, I guess.
Yeah, I think they partnered with the right manufacturer of equipment. Mayweather's now are coming in strong.
Oh yeah.
Right, they're popping up all over the country. So
Right.
the boxing concept is going to stay around. It's the world's oldest sport. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it'll be
not
the
going
world's
anywhere.
last sport.
Right.
After all this is gone, we'll still be boxing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I don't think it's going away
No.
anytime soon. Did you ever fear that, hey, maybe this is a fad? These boxing gyms where you can go and learn, and maybe this isn't the right thing to go into?
No, I actually always I've worked at probably every gym that offers boxing. I probably worked there, and you know,
Yeah.
and I think it's just about bringing your own thing to it. So I mean, Title's got their thing, and what you're doing is great with having the fighters and fitness, and I'm trying to bring. I always say the sweet science. I'm trying to bring people to the idea of what the sweet science of boxing is.
Right.
I think like the Paul brothers, they kind of got really fascinated with the sweet science of boxing, and now you have average Joes. Boxing, as the reality of it is it's always been a poor man's sport. Kids that maybe can't afford to pay to play on the select teams or something like that.
Right.
They've fallen into boxing.
They
But
need wraps and gloves.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
Now they see the Paul brothers, and you see more boxing on TV with celebrities now. Now you have everyone dipping their hands into boxing.
I think the Paul brothers are good for the sport.
They're
I know
great
they
for
get
the
a lot of flack
about
they're not real boxers.
Yeah.
But he did rounds with Mayweather,
Oh, I think it's great for the sport.
and I think if Logan, was it Logan that fought him? Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, yeah.
I think that if Logan Paul would have kept his volume that he had in the first round, the entire match, he would have beat Mayweather.
I think Mayweather did a great thing for their fight. I think he let Logan Paul kind of have his run, and
He did.
He did. Mayweather, believe it or not, I think Mayweather has all intentions of doing great things for the sport of boxing, and not just Mayweather himself. So I think by letting Logan Paul ride his bike around the ring, as in riding his bike, I mean run after Floyd Mayweather for 10 rounds or however many they went, it's good for the sport of boxing.
Right.
Because now you have little young kids who watch Logan Paul on YouTube or grew up watching him on Vine. They're interested in boxing now.
Absolutely. I think it's been huge for the sport.
It's huge.
That we have these kids. Say whatever you want about them, about how they got famous, right?
Right.
Yeah, they did stupid shit, but they got where they're at.
Yeah.
But at least Logan Paul, I don't know about his brother,
Yeah.
is showing some discipline in the sport. He's showing that he's going to be there. He's putting in the work.
Right.
Right now, he's always going to be, but he's got he's way bigger than Mayweather.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like a lot bigger.
Right.
It was obviously not a matched well fight.
No.
But it was still fun to watch.
Yeah. And I'll say this, for the short amount of time they've been in boxing, Jake Paul and Logan, their skill set is very good for the short amount of time they've been in boxing.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're
Very
not
good.
they're not chumps for sure.
No, they're not
right? They can
chumps.
get in there, they can hold their own.
Yeah.
For anybody that's had the number of fights that they've had,
Right.
they'll probably do pretty decent against.
They can do well. I think they can do well against most fighters who are on the rise, really.
Right.
I think
Absolutely.
They can do well.
I think it's and they're going to keep doing cool stuff. I hope.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you heard I don't know if we're going to cut this out or not, but have you heard what Mike Tyson's doing
No.
with his new product?
No.
Mike Tyson has come out with a new gummy,
Okay.
and it's shaped like an ear.
That's
And I
awesome.
was looking at those. I saw the ad. It was on CNN, so I think it could be fake still. But
That's awesome, though.
yeah, I mean, I looked it up. It looks real, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, that is about the.
It makes sense.
He took probably one of the worst moments of his life
Yeah.
is when he bit Holyfield.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Holyfield.
Holyfield
deer.
off. Yeah.
Probably one of his biggest mistakes he's ever made.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know. He's been convicted of a lot of
Yeah.
bad stuff, but
Holyfield, being as nice of a guy as he was, he just bit one of the nicest guy on earth's ear off.
yeah, and to take that and turn it into a product 20 years later,
Oh,
I
it's
think
amazing.
is hilarious.
Right. I'm curious to see if Holyfield tries to dip his hands in it, or if Holyfield gets involved.
Holyfield should get 10%
He
just
should,
right out
at
of the
least.
gate.
That's his ear.
It should be molded after his
It
ear
should.
with a little bite mark on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely should. Oh my gosh.
Fantastic. All right, so now you're 2 months in
Yep.
to owning your gym,
Yeah.
and it's the right decision.
I believe it's the right decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's growing. So.
And but you're not going to do competition at all, or not in the plans, at least right now.
Well, I have a couple guys that want to compete. It's just
Okay.
I don't have the room for the competitors and the fitness pays
Right.
the bills. So
Fitness pays the bills.
Yeah.
Competition does not pay the bills.
It does not.
But what I learned really quickly is that competition brings in more members.
it does. You have a superstar that people are like, oh, he trains Joe Schmo.
Right. And
Yeah.
for me, like my gym, and this is really cool, and I hope that you get some benefit out of it,
Yeah.
is that, we cater to 40 to 60-year-old men and women businesses in our fitness, and we do youth boxing. What I've learned, and this is total accident, is these older folks are looking at these kids and living vicariously through their thing. Like they really they're almost like grandpas now, grandmas to these kids.
Oh,
and
wow.
they take that kind of like look
That's
at them,
interesting.
right? And they look at them like so.
Yeah.
Now when we go to an event, a lot of our fitness members come to watch the youth
That's great.
compete,
Yeah.
right? So it helps us with promoters because now they know they're going to sell a couple tables if
Definitely.
we put a fighter in there, we're going to sell a couple tables at least,
Oh yeah.
right? So which in the sport of boxing, the economics of boxing
Oh yeah.
and MMA, especially in amateurs and early pro, you have to be able to sell tickets.
That's everything.
Right.
You have to put butts in seats. For sure.
If you can't sell tickets, then you can't be a fighter.
Right.
So part of our approach moving forward is definitely going to be in that mindset of that the youth.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll ever have an adult team.
Really.
I don't know that I will.
Adults are hard to train because adults already know it all. So for one grown man to tell another grown man, keep your hands up and punch like this, it's very hard.
I have found, and the reason we cater mostly to women, adult women, is because a man, and I'm sure this is good advice for all businesses.
Yeah.
A man he believes he's supposed to know how to fight already.
Right.
And he walks into a place to fight and he doesn't want to take direction because it's an ego thing, right? He's a little embarrassed and he doesn't know how to do
Hurts his
this
pride,
already.
Yeah.
And it's kind of pisses him off. He's like, don't tell me what to do. I know how to do this. He thinks he knows how to do it. He doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's the struggle to get men into this business. So knowing who your audience is, because you would think boxing gym, immediately you think, oh, men.
Right.
Right. Oh, we're going to get men to come in here and hit the bag and fight and this stuff. But are your members mostly men or women?
I actually do have mostly men in my gym.
Really?
It's actually everybody kind of compares it to the like a barbershop vibe.
Okay.
So I think that's something I may hold on to and try to run with. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
You never know.
We'll see how it plays out.
If you can create the environment that is, the guy that is okay, that understands,
Yeah.
hey, I am here to learn this sport. It's a sport that, I've never been taught this.
Right.
And I don't know why men think that they're supposed to know how to do this.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Well, have you ever been taught how to do it? No. Okay, then why would you know how to do it?
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
There's some things that are instinctual about it,
Right.
about boxing, and there's some things that are instinctual about business.
Yeah.
But you still have to go out and be taught, right? I mean, you're a professional fighter.
Yeah.
You still have a coach,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, I don't know it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a business coach?
I don't. No.
You don't.
I would love one though.
Yeah. So I have a bunch of business coaches.
Yeah.
I use more as mentors though, right? And I look at Gary Vee and the School of Greatness. I look at all those guys as my coaches,
Right.
Because I just watch that stuff, nonstop, right?
Those guys are huge. I mean, I look at how you've brought your business. I mean, your business hasn't been around that long, and you're already where
Box
you're at.
STL is just right at a year old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at what you've brought on. There's a business called The Grind. Chico Orlando, he's doing great. I mean, I've idolized you and him and all the performance gym in Brentwood that just opened. Brock and Britt Wilson.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I watch those because Gary V's great, and those are all great, but I mean, I don't
But they're
know.
really distant.
They're very distant.
Very distant, right?
I'm like, these people, I can go to their gym. I can watch how they run their gym. I can watch how they interact with the members, and I can learn from that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's amazing because I've been told, I have coaches trying to sell me coaching service all the time.
Yeah.
I'm super lucky that I have a board of directors at my day job, and I'm the president of that company.
Okay.
I have a board of directors, and one of my biggest shareholder, his name's Brian Matthews. He's a founder of Cultivation Capital. He's a venture capital guy. He does all kinds of business. So I have kind of a built-in coach.
Gotcha.
On my day company.
Okay.
Is one of my shareholders. So
yeah.
that works out really well for me. But I still lean on what other businesses. Sometimes I'll disappear from the office and I just drive around going to businesses.
Yeah.
And going in and like checking out their bathrooms and talking to the front desk person or just like whatever I can to learn, are they doing something that I could use to help make me better, right? Because it's at the end of the day, it's just always just little improvements every day.
Sure. That's something that I need to be better with. I don't know. I think I need to find the balance to do that, like you're saying, do the extra things like driving around to other gyms. I'm so focused on my gym and putting my personal thought into what I think would be a stardom boxing gym.
You're pretty,
yeah, but like you're saying, there's gyms that little things like the bathrooms. I mean, just the little things like that. That's what make people say, okay, they really care. I'm gonna keep paying to come here.
Yeah, bathrooms are huge for me.
Heck yeah.
Like it's a huge deal for me to have always really, really clean.
Oh yeah.
Decent bathrooms, right?
It should always,
I hate going to places and the bathrooms are destroyed.
Right.
And I go to some boxing gyms.
That's boxing gym.
Yeah. The boxing gyms, even some of the, the Voggy gyms that I go to are a little rougher in the restrooms than what I like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you got guys that just got done sparring or like blowing their bloody nose all over the bathroom.
Right. I mean, it's a different world. And that's why
atmosphere.
the competition versus fitness have to be kind of.
Yeah. So what do you do with your fighters that say they get a bloody nose? I mean, I know their first instinct is to run to the bathroom and.
Yeah, so we keep at our ring. We keep kits.
There you go.
Well, USA Boxing just kicked us some new rules.
Oh, really?
Yeah, USA Boxing. You have to now, as of 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
I found out 2 days ago.
Wow.
You have to have your book to spar in a gym.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So before you could spar in a gym, just open.
Yeah,
anybody
could
come
be
in.
Able to go.
But if you are in a sanctioned USA Boxing gym, anybody sparring in your gym also has to be a sanctioned boxer.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a new rule put down. So there's some insurance and stuff that comes with that, which takes some liability off of me, which is absolutely fine with. But we keep kits in our corners and we keep coagulation gel.
Gotcha.
So I've just trained them. Like, you get a bloody nose, come to your corner, jam it in there.
Yeah.
And then go to the bathroom. And we actually created a path.
Okay.
We have a sparring bathroom and a fitness bathroom.
Nice.
And there's a path from the ring directly to the fighter's restroom for those kinds of issues.
Yeah, that's good.
So we keep buckets. It's a challenge though, because the 45-year-old woman doesn't want to see that.
No.
Right? She doesn't.
No.
She's not.
They don't want to see blood or anybody get hit. Yeah.
They like seeing people. I've never known anybody that didn't like seeing.
It's human nature. My mom, she hates to watch. She always hated seeing me get hit.
My mom won't watch.
But really?
She will not come to a match.
Wow.
And I'm like, Mom, I put in a lot of work to do this.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of work has gone into these. Right. For me, I'm a old heavyweight, so my rounds are a minute and a half, right? I'm like, this is important.
It's still hard. Yeah. Right. It's still very hard.
I worked 6 months for these 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
if your mom did go, you would see a side of your mom that you've never seen before, probably.
I probably would.
Barbaric.
And I've seen a lot of kids' moms that were really hesitant.
Yeah.
And now they're like gung ho, like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I understand how that mindset can change pretty quickly after you've seen it. And that adrenaline.
Oh yeah.
Once people get a dose of adrenaline.
Oh, it's game over. Your pure human instincts are going to come out.
Yes. Absolutely. So anything's next, or is the main event you're putting, is there no plan B?
I don't have a plan B. No.
There's no plan B.
I don't think you can have a successful plan A with focused on a plan B. So I don't believe in a plan B.
All right.
If I fail, then I'll get back up.
So the main event boxing gym
Yeah.
is right now one gym.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think until you open your second gym?
I want to give myself 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
And will that second gym be your owned or franchised at that moment?
I think I'll still own the second gym.
Still open the second gym?
My only thing is, and I don't know, I could be wrong. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to have somebody take a brand that I made and put the effort that I put into it.
Right.
And I don't want someone to say, "Oh, that the main event in High Ridge is great. Great trainers, blah blah blah." But Joe's main event over here in Fenton sucks because of,
Right.
I don't want that.
It's tough.
Right.
I would challenge you to say 2.5 years.
2.5.
Cut that in half. If
Okay.
you really want to open the second one, right? Because I think what you're going to learn, as all men learn, that 30 starts going fast.
Yeah.
Like 25 to 30, like you're still living in this young man's game of time still goes pretty slow.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But 25 to 30, you're going to see that, oh shit, it's moving quicker.
Yeah.
And if your wife wants a kid, it's going to start really clicking fast. Right?
Yeah.
So that time's going to start slipping way faster than it is right now.
Sure.
And 5 years is going to go by. It's going to seem like nothing. In
I
reality.
hope 2.5 years it happens.
Yeah.
I would like to hope so. I've always been told make 5-year plans. So that's always been something I've always gone on, as corny as that is. I've always said, all right,
I think 5-year plan is a good plan to have.
2.5 years would be awesome.
Yeah, I think you'll find what I found for my second gym is that one, I had just more balls to try things.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I had more when I was going to buy equipment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I did a $20,000 equipment purchase,
Okay.
right? Which is scary.
That's scary.
Right? It's scary. Like,
I didn't do
shit,
that.
I'm gonna do 20,000 because I got a Jacob's ladder, I got a zero gravity treadmill now.
Yeah.
Like I've got really really nice equipment, and it was scary for me to do. And then I'm like, but the second gym, like if I lose it, I lose the money. Like,
Right.
I just lose the money.
Right.
Like what's the worst that'll happen? People use it for a little bit, and I lose
Yeah.
the money.
See, that's something I think like you said, if I can put it this way, if it's all right for the podcast, I need to have more balls with taking risk. Going to get a loan for better equipment. I mean, like I have really basic equipment. I don't have a treadmill or anything. Like I said, it's 1,000 square foot gym. But the things that I have, I either bought used or I bought on the cheaper side.
Right.
But I think that gamble may be worth it. I don't know. What do you think about? Like, do you think,
I think
nicer equipment draws people in? Just
I
because
think
the
nicer equipment
sounds-
draws different people in.
Sure.
At the end of the day, I mean, I've seen your gym.
Yeah.
And you can see it in Google Maps. Or
Yeah.
You have your 3D version up online yet?
I think so. Yeah.
You
I
do?
think
All
if
right.
you go to Maps, it's there.
Right. So, and we did that. One of my companies, VR Room, did
Yeah.
a 3D scan of the main event.
Did a great job.
So you can see what it looks like inside Google Maps. You can go inside the place.
Yeah.
From my opinion, I've not been there in person. I've seen a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
It looks to me like you spent a lot of effort on detail work.
I did. Yeah.
Right. Which I think that comes, people see effort regardless if it's from your pocket or from your hands and your heart.
Right.
I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
Right. And when you look at your gym today, nobody's going to go in there and look at it and be like, man, this guy doesn't give a shit. Like
Right.
they're going to look in there and like, man, this is,
Yeah.
this
There's
is
a lot of
really
effort
nice.
put into the detail,
Right.
like you're saying.
And there's a lot of detail and fine work there, which I appreciate immediately when I see, I'm like, hey,
right.
he's making a real go of this. This is not a half-assed attempt.
No. Yeah.
Right. And you can tell that. So I think the average person doesn't know how much a heavy bag costs.
Right.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So if it's a $30 heavy bag or a $300 heavy bag, they don't know the difference.
Or $700 heavy bag that you may have paid too much for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you get one of those really big ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like, it's a company called MVP. The guy did a great job. They're handmade heavy bags.
Okay.
The theme of my gym, I went with the old vintage look.
Yeah. It looks cool.
Yeah,
Like that old leather look.
Right,
Yeah.
it's the old leather look, and I think it's cool, especially for the area that it's in.
Yes.
But I found really quickly that vintage is expensive.
Yes.
And I would not go that route.
Well,
for the
vintage and
second
headband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not go that route for the second location.
Who do you use for your gloves?
HKA.
Is it HKA?
Yeah.
Nick Sampson?
Nick Sampson.
Samson.
Great guy.
Great
Great
guy.
product, actually.
Yes.
I've never used their gloves. I've always seen people that use, and yeah, that's a great glove. I love it.
HKA is our main vendor as well.
Yeah. Okay.
At Box. So it's I think it's just a really wildly versatile glove.
Yeah. Oh
Right.
yeah.
It's good for boxing, kickboxing, MMA, sparring,
Everything.
heavy bag,
Right.
everything. Now I'm a bit of a diva. I've got sparring gloves, I got heavy bag gloves, and I've got
As you should, though. It's a safety thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But and I've got, I can break my wrists pretty easy. So
Yeah.
um
I have found very quick, people, if they've never boxed before, wrist protection is very important.
yes.
I found that out. I actually, my first day in business, a lot of people were tweaking their wrist, and I'm like, what's going on here? Why is everyone tweaking their wrist? They've never done it before. I never realized that if you never punched a bag before and then you punch one for the first time,
Yeah.
it's gonna hurt your wrist.
Yep.
And so I was like, okay, I got a pretty good method for wrapping people's hands.
Yeah, wrapping hands is important. Like all those little details, right? You learn them as you go.
Yeah,
right? And,
yeah.
I think so many people in business, they don't move forward because they don't know what they're getting themselves into.
Right.
And I'm telling you, you never know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta
You got to jump in and do it.
start moving. and
Yeah.
figure out- like you
Right.
don't even know what hurdle's gonna come up next.
Oh, it's insane.
Right? There might be none.
Yeah.
Doubtful.
Very doubtful.
There might be no. You might have made the perfect plan and you can execute it without any errors. Highly
Yeah.
unlikely, but it could happen.
Yeah.
Right. But I think what most people find is there's silly little problems like, oh, I didn't think about having a proper process for wrapping hands in my boxing gym.
And I did not. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's once you get the process down,
Right.
it's not a big deal anymore. Right.
Yeah.
And you talk about it, you educate.
Sure.
I've
Yeah.
always said my job is all about me.
Right.
I got to motivate, educate, and entertain. If I can do those three things, then we're all
okay.
good. Right.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love the boxing industry. Is there anything that you have that you want to get out into the world about mindset, about how to move forward, what it takes to do this?
Yeah.
Right? Any messages?
So a big message that my coach always instilled in me and any fighter he's coached is just, you said earlier, do what you want to do. Because the thing is, people are always going to think from their view looking in at you that they know what's best for you. Oh, you need to go get a job at this company. They're going to take care of you and give you health benefits and all this stuff. And,
Yes.
okay, that's great for you. It works for you. And if you like that routine and the rat race, sure, go
Right.
ahead. But I prefer going out and earning my own. So I don't take well to having a boss, things like that. So if starting a business is something you're thinking about doing, just do it. And it's going to be hard. It's going to suck. At least twice a week, you're going to think you're a failure. But
stack those
you just got to
failures.
keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, because what you're getting, the other guy isn't failing, so he doesn't know this now.
Right.
Right? You just learned something
Yeah.
with this failure that you're going to stack and you're going to learn, and hopefully you don't make that mistake again. I had to learn all the lessons 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Right? And I've got a thick head.
I hear. Yeah. I
I'm
can
like,
relate.
oh, it didn't work. I'm gonna try it again. Oh, it didn't work. I'm gonna try it again. Sometimes takes me hundreds of times to figure it out.
Yeah.
Before I stop, give it up. But
Right.
I have to learn my lessons multiple times. Hopefully, not everybody's like that.
Oh yeah.
But you have that failure. You figure out how to overcome it, and now you have that in your pocket.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right. And it doesn't matter if this business is successful or not. You now have that.
Right.
To
It's
bring
the
it
experience.
either to keep this business running or for your next venture or whatever you're going to do.
Sure.
Now, I have a couple people in my life that every business that I have doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming less frequent, but it always annoys the hell out of me. And you just said it. The guy that comes in and he's like, oh, you know what you should do?
Oh, it drives me nuts.
You got to do this. How do you handle that? You just blow it. I've learned to I just accept them like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. We'll see what we can do. And then kind of just let it go.
Right. I'm very good at looking someone in the eye and just smiling and nodding my head and say, thanks for that.
Yeah.
And then, I'll take what I want and do with it and, do what I want with it. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. The other misconception that I believe people have about me, and I think they might have about you, is that you're just an aggressive person.
Yeah.
in general, which I can be an aggressive guy. Absolutely.
Sure.
I'm a big guy. I like to fight and all those things.
Right.
But I struggle with people having that perception of me just right out of the gate. Do you have that too?
Oh yeah. Everyone wants to just assume, oh, he's a boxer and blah blah. He's a badass. Don't mess with him. But I mean, in reality, no.
Yeah, I just want to hug, man.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I don't look for fights.
Yeah.
But no.
And I think it's interesting because, the people that I know that have never been in a combat sport tend to be, at the bar, the mouthier ones, the guys looking for trouble
Sure,
and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. And I've never known a fighter now in my life. I know a lot of people in the competitive combat sports, right?
Right.
Like, it's at least half of my life right now, right?
Yeah.
None of them are that way that
No.
I've met.
Right.
Like, I've never met like a aggressive
Yeah.
fighter outside in the ring, in the gym, wildly aggressive, but out in the world,
Right.
I would almost say docile,
Yeah.
right? Just very casual, like
Sure.
it's all going to be okay.
Right.
Right. And I contribute that to the sport,
Yeah.
to the combat. I don't care if it's boxing, MMA, I don't care if it's dance or speed skating, right? Any highly competitive individual sport, I think, gives you that mindset.
It does. Yeah. I don't. I always. Most people's bark isn't as big as their bite. So if someone is giving you the image of being a badass, they're probably not that badass.
No, probably not. So, Mike, I had a blast today. Thank you for coming in.
I appreciate you having me.
This is a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
I hope the viewers got some benefit out of this.
I hope so. Yeah.
2 months into business, cash flow break even. That's huge.
Yeah.
Keep that work up.
I appreciate it.
If you don't even grow for the next year, right? If you just stay there,
Right.
You're in better shape than a lot of guys, because you didn't have an operations manual when you started. You had to create all that. You didn't have, any of the stuff that a franchise would give you.
Right.
Right. You had a window to other people's businesses and a great boxing coach.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yep.
if you talk to Kirk, he's the greatest boxing coach in the whole planet.
Greatest
in
in the
the
world.
universe.
Yeah.
Right. In the whole universe.
Yep.
And I can't take that away from him. But, so, it's a huge undertaking to do, and congratulations for getting where you're at. I'm super excited to see
Thank you.
where you go
Appreciate
for the
it.
next couple of years.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Thanks for coming out.